Oh my goodness, Drew Barrymore. Thank you so much, Drew Barrymore, for allowing me to be on your page in this amazing Share the Mic moment by Lovey. Lovey, thank you so much. All of you who are joining, give it up to Drew Barrymore right now for sharing the mic with me, Brandis Daniel, on her page. I don't know how many of you guys caught me today, but I was on the Drew Barrymore show on her Share the Mic section of the show, and I am so excited. So here's what I did, guys. I decided, since Drew Barrymore was sharing the mic with me, I would share the mic with others. And I wanted to bring on 3 really, really dope women to discuss business. So my first guest is going to discuss business with us and some things that she's learned by working with an emotional intelligence specialist. I brought up somebody from finance, Tiffany the Budgetista. The first guest is Jenna Kutcher. And then the third guest we're bringing on is going to talk to us about fashion. So I hope that you guys are super ready. I think my first guest is ready to come on. Hold on, let me find her. I think I may have seen a request from her. So let me grab that. But I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much again, Drew Barrymore, for being dope and for allowing Brandis Daniel to have this moment. And hi to all of you guys.
Hello.
Hi.
It's so good to be with you.
How are you?
I'm so good. I just got to catch your segment on the show today because I totally Googled it so that I could find you, and it was so good.
Oh my goodness, Jenna, I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, this is all because of Drew Barrymore sharing the mic with me. So I had to bring out some dope women so that we can give Drew Barrymore's family on her page just, all the deets.
Yes. Well, thank you to Drew and to you and to Lovey for just helping this movement move forward. And I don't feel qualified for the job today, but I am always willing to show up, which is the biggest part.
Well, I'm so happy to have you. And the reason I wanted you to come on, Jenna, is because I know you have done so much incredible work with my great girlfriend, Tico, nejon. And I wanted to ask you a question about that work. And then I wanted you to give all of Drew Barrymore's family on this live some business tips as well that could carry us through the holidays.
Let's do it.
So first of all, you
Perfect.
work with Tico nejon. Tico nejon is an emotional intelligence specialist. And I know she works on things around race and equity. And I know that you and your team have had you guys have been working with her for a while now. What has been your biggest aha moment with Tico?
Well, there's a million. Tico has absolutely just transformed the way that we work as a team, but also just the way that we show up as human beings. And when we wanted to look at how do we want to approach all of the changes and the blind spots that were revealed within this year, we wanted to have this wholesome approach, right? We've got to start with our hearts and the way that we think and the way that we emote and the way that we communicate. And Tico has been this connector of figuring out how do all of these things play together and play a role in us showing up as better humans, better leaders, better mothers, better sisters, better wives, better partners. And so one of the things that she taught that just totally transformed the way that I think is all about how a lot of times we'll say you need to walk in someone else's shoes in order to understand or to be there in support of them. And Tico was like, no, their shoes are not going to fit on your feet. You are not meant to walk in those shoes. What you need to do instead is think about the way that we emote and emotions. And instead of saying, I can't imagine what it's like to be X, Y, or Z. Think of a time in your life where you felt the emotions that person might be feeling, whether that's fear or hope or grief or shame. We've all felt those emotions at different points in our lives. And so when we challenge ourselves to really say, what are these emotions telling me? What are these shared emotions that we've had, whether they're similar situations or totally different? We can understand what it feels like And that should propel us forward in the way that we show up, in the way that we grow, and in the way that we lead and change. And so I loved that little tip, because I think I find myself saying to my friends, like, I can't imagine what it would be like, or can't imagine what that feels like. But I felt every emotion in my life. And so it helps for us to kind of put ourselves in an armor and to say, I'm with you while you're feeling these things, and I'm going to do better for you.
I love that. I love that so much. And again, for those of you who are just joining, Drew Barrymore has passed me the mic. I wanted to invite Jenna Kutcher on from the Gold Digger on, because she's done so much incredible work. There is this whole social justice movement that has happened. To share the mic has come out of that social justice movement. And Jenna just shared with us some gems that she's gotten from working with Tico Nejon. So Jenna, how are you feeling as a new mom?
Oh, what a loaded question. You know, it's funny. I was at the dentist the other day and I was like, oh, the baby's napping. And the dentist was like, how old is the baby? And I'm like, she's going to be 2. And I almost started crying. I'm like, holy cow. But I feel like specifically for working parents this year, it's just been this year of figuring things out and transforming and scooting in different rooms of the house so that everything can get done. And I've just really learned that work-life balance doesn't exist. Work-life integration has to be how you approach this year and moving forward. And so it's been great. I think one of the things that I've just been thinking about so much lately for women in general, and people that want to have children, is for women, when it comes to having your career, you have to really plan for pregnancy and postpartum. And, you know, it's this long journey, and it impacts the way that you can show up in your job, in your marriage, in your life. And so I've just been thinking a lot about the journey of motherhood and how it plays with career, and just how, instead of feeling like you're in 2 places at once all the time, how to really just be all in on whatever it is that you're working on.
I love that. I love that. There are so many people right now who are starting new businesses.
Yes.
What should every woman know about that wants to start a new business? What's one thing that they should know?
Yeah, so I'm so excited that you're having Tiffany Alicia on today, because she's one of my favorite people on planet Earth. And one thing that she said to me in her interview on Gold Digger podcast years ago that I will never forget is she said, you have to figure out not just how to look like a business, but to be a business. And what happens is that a lot of times we get so caught up in things like the logo, the website, like the graphics, the way things appear, that we're not actually doing the thing that makes us an actual business, which means putting an offer out into the world and getting money for it. And so I think that nowadays we're stretched so thin, our energy is in so many different places that we've really just got to focus on getting offers and invitations out into the world, and then figuring out how we can add value to people's lives in the way that only we can do it. And so I remember Tiffany had said this line on my show, which is like, are you looking like a business, or are you an actual business? And I think that that is even more profound these days when we're trying to do all the things and juggle all of the things that require us to.
I love that so much. Are you a business, or are you looking like a business? That's
yes.
So good. For those of you who are just joining, I'm Brenda Daniel. I am part of Lovey Share the Mic segment on Drew Barrymore's show. I brought my great girlfriend in to just speak with us about business. We also talked a little bit about like the social justice movement and the things that Jenna has learned in her kind of process of going through like an emotional intelligence, almost like what course?
An awakening,
right? And so that is what we're doing. And then after this, we have Tiffany Alicia coming on. All right. How much do people need to go vote tomorrow, Jenna? Can we talk about vote?
Sorry about that. Tico just texted me. So when we're thinking about voting tomorrow, oh my goodness, I mean, this is an unprecedented year with an unprecedented election. And I just want to share this one thing that I heard that totally changed the way that I approach this election, because I feel like a lot of times people often say, you know, I feel like I'm voting for the lesser of 2 evils, or I'm not quite sure where I land. And I often think about if we were going to go somewhere, a final destination, this destination that we're all seeking, which is different, then we're going to get on the bus that's going to take us to the closest bus stop on that route, right? we're not going to just arrive. We need to take the path that we think is going to guide us to the destination that we see for the future. And so I think it is just such a powerful election to use our voices. This morning I was doing a Peloton ride with Allie Love, and she had the Nas song, One Mic. And it said, all I need is one mic. And I think that our votes this year are that one, that mic that I just think it's such a beautiful time for us to be able to use that right to vote, and to hopefully move us closer to whatever we think will get us to that destination that we're seeing.
I love that so much. Jenna, thank you so much,
Thank you
everyone.
so much.
Jenna,
I'm so glad we got to hang out.
Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for putting in the work, for working with Tico Nejon this year. Like, she's such a gift. And thank you for all the work that you do in helping empower so many women.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for sharing the mic. I cannot wait to see Tiffany come on.
I can't either.
Bye, Brandis.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So, again, Barrymore is sharing the mic. We are so excited. Thank you to Lovey for sharing the mic and for recommending me for this opportunity. I was on the Drew Barrymore show earlier today. My name is Brenda Daniel. I have a company, Harlem's Fashion Row, and that company provides a voice to designers of color. And so she's sharing the mic with me. For those of you who don't know about Harlem's Fashion Row, please go and follow us. We just did an incredible collaboration with Kids Wear brand, Janie and Jack. So if you have kids, I think you will absolutely love the collection that we just did. It is so cute and so incredible. And I also share this message that I'll share with you guys, that anything that you want to do is possible, but we have to be willing to take risk, right? We have to be willing to cliff jump and take the risk. And the same way Drew Barrymore is cliff jumping with this amazing new talk show that I was so grateful to be on this morning, we all have to take risk and we all have to cliff jump. Our dreams, everything it is that we want to do, are absolutely possible for us. So Tiffany, the Budgetista, is going to be joining me shortly.